Hi, I'm Sean with Sean's Tech Blog. I'm here with Gary Rossi, and today we're going to be talking about the hidden job market. So I'm going to start with the first question here. So Gary, for people who may not be familiar, what is actually the unpublished or hidden job market, and why does it exist?
The unpublished or hidden job market actually makes up 70 to 80% of the openings that are out. The published job market, like in Indeed and LinkedIn and those, let's say, position specific positions, only make up about 20-30%. Hidden job market roles usually filled through referrals, internal movement, networking, conversations that happen long before a job ever gets posted. Those can be found through your warm network, recruiters, especially now in LinkedIn with the actively hiring function, developing a company list, researching the company, doing informational interviews, and then possibly getting a job through that. Also, don't forget LinkedIn group, and then being active on LinkedIn.
Okay, and so why does that matter more now in today's job market, and uh, compared to just applying online?
Here's an example: applying online. I have had three clients. One young lady who has sent out 75 applications, no responses. Probably about 3 months ago, I had two gentlemen that had sent out over between the two of them over 400 applications, and they only received one response. Through the unpublished job market with your warm network using LinkedIn, there are more ways to find a position that aren't published because a lot of employers, they don't want to get as many resumes. If you look on LinkedIn for one job, you have anywhere from over 100 to 200 applicants. So referrals are faster. Better hires come from people that you know. Confidential searching, intermobility, hiring from internal applicants, urgent needs. You go through your network. I need let's say, a IT person, and hey, everybody in the IT shop. Who else do you know that could come in and fill the job? And then the big thing with companies when you're looking at cutting expenses, posting jobs cost money, whether it be, posting it on Indeed, posting it on LinkedIn. A lot of other sources require you to pay to post a job.
Okay, and then let's get into getting access. Uh, how do people break into that job market, especially if they don't have a strong network yet?
First thing is create a network on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, when it first came out in 2004, 2005, was really about business networking and helping people build a business. Now it has kind of swayed to a majority of individuals looking for job and people there looking for candidates. So build your network so when you make a search, you have a broad network and a deep network. Like right now, in my network pales into comparison to some people. I have 13,291 connections. And I'm constantly building it so that I can help my clients connect with other people for possible job postings. Uh, the other thing is, don't be afraid to go out if you see somebody that is there that has the same position or maybe the hiring manager. Go out and do a tailored LinkedIn connection request and see if they'll take the time to talk to you about their perception of what the market is and opportunities and get suggestions and counsel from them.
Okay. I'm going to move to mistakes to avoid. What are the biggest mistakes you see? They're trying to network or access unlisted opportunities. What are job seekers? What are some of the mistakes they should be avoiding?
I'm going to start off with one of my favorite quotes from father of the United States Navy, John Paul Jones. He who will not risk cannot win. And the biggest thing is when people are using LinkedIn, they get, if they go out and send, let's say, 10 LinkedIn tailored connection requests and they get no responses, they get frustrated, they get discouraged, and then they stop, and then they go back to just applying online. Don't get frustrated. I know it's hard. Don't get discouraged. I have a saying: some people will accept, some people won't accept. So what? Next. There are anywhere from 1.2 to 1.5 billion subscribers or users, members on LinkedIn. 25% of those are active. So we need to be an active participant and subscriber on LinkedIn to really tap into that job market.
Okay. And then quick action. So someone wants to start today. What are the 2, 3 simple actions that they can take this week to tap into the hidden job market?
First thing, I'm going to say it again, LinkedIn. Get to LinkedIn, tap into recruiters, especially using that actively hiring function. Don't discount any recruiters. That's the first thing. Second thing, use your warm network. Let people know what you're doing, what you're looking for. If you're going to relocate, where you're going to relocate, because they may know somebody in that geographic area that can help you. And, look for individuals in your specific or target position that may be a hiring manager, and reach out to them and get their advice, counsel, suggestions, recommendations. So those are the 3: the recruiters, your warm network, and somebody that could be the hiring manager.
Okay. Now, so we're in overtime here now. Kind of already gave you, the talking points ahead of time. I don't know if you have extra time. If you do, we can keep going a little bit longer. If not,
No, we can
final
go. It's
thoughts
only
here.
that. I
Okay,
had this.
sure.
Yeah, I had this blocked off for an hour.
Okay, sure. I like uh learning from the past, right? And then how it's different now, because I'm thinking of job searching versus the late 90s to what it is now, right? And I wonder because there's certain segments of the population. There's the 40 and unemployed now, right? There's always going to be that, right? And then there's the ones below that. And I feel like either employers, there's always going to be employment bias, but I feel like there's wisdom in age sometimes, but somehow, employers are going to do what they're going to do, right? And so there's a lot of people out there, C-suite level. And what would you say to them trying to navigate this job market right now? Because some of them, I'm an Uber driver, right? And I have a lot of conversations, and somebody, had 40 years in finance with a bunch of tech companies, but she hasn't been able to get a job in 2 years. So, what would you say to them in this job market to
Right
navigate
now,
it?
going back to the hidden job market, 50 to 80%, and these numbers always shift. For senior executives, those are never publicized. They're never advertised. So, and they are always really filled quietly through connections. So the biggest thing is building up your network and talking to people. There's 2 executive recruiters, and one of the biggest resources that I use is called the 20-minute networking meeting, and it gives you a step-by-step process to how to set up a networking call that sticks to it for 20 minutes to get down to the brass tacks through a networking call. People don't like to talk. again, that is the best way to open doors for executives, talking to other executives. Like I said, I mean, you've got 1.2, 1.5 billion people on LinkedIn. If you put in a search and go, let's say COO, do a geographic area and see who's there, and then just reach out with a tailored LinkedIn connection request and open the door.
Okay. All right. So then my other questions are, when we're talking about, so there's a book called 20-Minute Networking, right? So people go look out that. When you're sending tailored networking requests, what do you mean by that? Are you telling the person, using information you're able to find out about them, and then, or are you being direct? Hey, I'm looking for work. And this, do you know anybody? What do you mean by tailored networking?
It just,
Um,
it depends, Sean. It depends on your audience. So if I am looking for a job and I go out, I hit recruiters. First, you can be pretty well um, right up front with what they want. Say, hey, I'm Gary Rossi, just got laid off. I'm looking for a career coaching position. I see that you're working for a coaching firm. Can I spend 15 to 20 minutes to tell you what I'm looking for, my background, and the areas that I've covered? Sincerely, Gary. If I'm looking at and I'm talking to, let's say, the director of coaching, then I would use a little bit different tact, because if they're not hiring, you don't want to end the conversation by, hey, Sean, I see that you're a director of career services or career coaching. I'm looking for a job. What do you have? If they don't have a job, they're gonna say, well, sorry, I don't have a job. That ends the conversation. What you're trying to do is, and I use the example, I used to be, when I had my own consulting practice, I used to belong to an organization that's called Business Networking International. And their philosophy is about developing relationships and farming and nurturing and growing relationships rather than hunting, where you go out, you shoot, get a lead, and then it's done. So you want to continue to build a network, and that's what you want to do with people in key positions, to build that network, ask for their counsel, ask for their advice, because people love to be acknowledged for their position, how they got there, and what would they recommend as you looking for a new position, rather than just looking for a job, even though they probably know you're just looking for a job.
okay. All right. Um, I'm gonna stop it right here, and then I'm gonna do it overtime here. So I'm gonna stop this right here, so I can cut it up. 1 second.